What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lion Collectibles. It's Friday, and so you know what show it is. It's the Fight Picks and Card Show. And man, oh man, are we in for a battle tomorrow night. UFC 284 coming to us from the Rock Arena in Perth, Australia. We get to all watch the super fight. Islam Makhachev defend his lightweight title against Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight champion, attempting to become a double champ. Volkanovski is actually widely considered the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, with Makhachev coming in at number 2 of the pound-for-pound list after his win over Charles Oliveira. And so, man, you just don't get to see this very often. It's buzzing. Perth, Australia, the home of Alexander. Just super, super cool. It's history, and this is why we watch fighting. Before we jump into the Fight Picks and Card Show, as well as the recap of UFC Fight Night last week, first order of business, just got to keep spreading the awareness. We are going live tonight on Whatnot. I'm going to start at 6 p.m. We're doing a random tiered Pick Your Fighter case break. My last show was kind of explained how the fight's going to break down. The link in the description is how you get to that. Use that link. If it's your first time, you'll get a credit on Whatnot at $10. Would love you guys to come by tonight. Check out, maybe hop in the break. But we're going to be talking UFC 284 all night. I want to hear everybody's picks. I want to know what everybody's thinking. Come and join us. It'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so before we get into UFC 284, we got to recap how we did last week. We went into the fight 19-15. We were riding high, and then I made 4 picks on the night. And what can I say? This happens all. This is going to happen when you're betting and making picks. We got worked on Saturday night. So the first fight that we chose was on the Bellator card. We took Fedor Emelianenko, the last emperor, in his retirement fight to beat Ryan Bader. And man, Father Time remains undefeated, and this was just another good example of that. Fedor, beloved character. It was really, really cool to watch Bellator. All the people that showed out: Dan Henderson, Chuck Liddell, Frank Shamrock, Randy Couture. A bunch of different veterans showed out. And it was just cool to see. That's one thing I will say that I love about Bellator and I love about Scott Coker. They really do put on that spectacle and that ode to old fighters and guys that deserve our respect. So it was a beautiful night in that aspect, but it was a bummer to watch that main fight. Fedor took damage from Bader pretty early. Bader was able to get it to the ground where he wants it to be. He's got great ground and pound, and he kind of brutalized Fedor. So that was a little bit of a bummer and started us off the night 0-1. We love you, Fedor. Thank you for everything, and best of luck to you in your retirement. Then we went to the really, really late UFC fight card. We made some picks on that, and again, we didn't really do too well. So starting off the night, we took Yusaku Kinoshita over Adam Fugit. He ended up getting KO'd. Young guys got a lot of talent in Kinoshita. Just wasn't his night, and he ended up getting finished. So we started off 0-1 there. Wasn't an official pick. Then Choi Do-Ho fought Kyle Nelson. That fight, I thought it was ridiculous what happened in that fight. Do-Ho Choi was winning. He looked great. Kyle Nelson made a tougher fight than it probably should have been for him, but it was a 3-year layoff for Choi. He was up 2-0 or 1-2 or 1-1 going into the third. I thought he was winning the third round. It looked like an accidental, light clash of heads with him on top. They showed the replay in the end. I didn't even think he even butted his head down in any way. And the referee walks in, gives a point deduction. I thought it was ridiculous. Sucks when this kind of stuff happens, but it ended up causing a draw. So we didn't lose there, but we didn't get our win. Then we moved to the main fights to where we did pick them. We picked Blagoy Ivanov over Marcin Tybura. I thought Ivanov won the first 2 rounds, but it was a close fight. As in the third, of course, in the third he gets taken down, which just made it even more harder. These heavyweights, they're not guys that are world beaters. They threw good and decent punches. It was an okay fight, but we ended up losing. So that started us off and made us 0-2. Then we went to the co-main event. Da Un Jung fought Devin Clark. Another one of these where the guy that we voted for, Da Un Jung, just did not look great. He couldn't really get off any of his good striking. He was bigger than Devin Clark, so he had that advantage, just couldn't get anything rolling. Ended up getting beat by Devin Clark in what was, in my opinion, a really boring fight. 0-3, head into the main event. We did pick that one right. Sergey Spivak did beat Derek Lewis. Hard to see Derek Lewis go down like that. The fight really didn't even last on the feet very long. Sergey took the fight exactly where it needed to go. And Derek just didn't have the ability to get up and escape from him. He got ragdolled pretty much, got taken down repeatedly, would get to his feet, taken down. That's got to be hard for a heavyweight. So a bummer to see that. Sergey did exactly what he needed to do. Not the most impressive win in my opinion. That's the way it goes when you're a heavy top fighter in heavyweight. But I thought it was just smart that he didn't play the game like a Curtis Blaydes and try to stand and bang and show that he had striking. So that's smart IQ for him. I think there's a lot more in store for him in the future. So we went 1-3. That puts us to 20-18. Not where we want to be. We're going to stick with 3 fights this time, not doing 4. And so hopefully we can get back in our winning ways. Okay, now on to what we really want to talk about. UFC 284 in Perth, Australia tomorrow. Awesome fight card, top to bottom. We're obviously only going to talk about the main card. And getting us started off in the first fight of the night, it's in the light heavyweight division. Jimmy the Brute Crute is taking on Alonzo Atomic Menafield. Alonzo Menafield, he's an ex-football player. The guy is built like a truck. The guy can hit with a ton of power. And he's got some of that, grappling ability, wrestling ability, but he's mainly looking to keep it on the feet, land big bombs, and hurt his guy. Jimmy Crute's a younger guy, 26 years old. He's coming off a 2-fight losing streak. He seems to be the more well-rounded fighter for sure. He has ability and has submissions on the ground. He's got pretty decent striking, but he has had some trouble as of late putting it together. I think this is a great fight to start off the card. They're going to go after each other, and hopefully we see a big knockout. If I had to vote for anybody, if I had to put my money on anybody, I'm going with Alonzo Menafield. I think Crute's been having his chin tested, and I think Alonzo Menafield's the type of guy that if he touches your chin in a clean way, you're probably going down and not getting up, or getting up with a headache. So we're going to go with Alonzo Menafield, not a straight pick. I got a couple cards for each of these guys. Only one card for Jimmy Crute. Don't have much of him. You don't see much of him in the hobby as of right now. This is his 2021 Prism base card. Then I got a few cards of Alonzo Menafield. I got his, this is his 2022 Prism. He's a rookie in this year. So that's his Prism rookie card base. Then I got both of his select bases. The blue comes out of retail. It's the stuff that you can buy in Walmart or Target. This is his hobby base, so it's the silver. Basically the same picture, just from a different angle. Kind of interesting. And then I do have a numbered card of his select. So this is his numbered red, and I believe it's out of 99. This is actually one of the first cards that I got opened up in a pack on Whatnot. Remember, join us on Whatnot tonight. I think Alonzo Menafield gets the big KO. He's an underdog, so, betting men would say go with the younger guy. Menafield's 35, but I think Menafield's going to get the win tomorrow night. Second fight of the night comes to us in the heavyweight division. You got Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter. Parker Porter is more of a wrestler. He's a big guy. Not the most athletic looking guy. Kind of reminds me of Prince Albert from the WWF. Anybody who's a WWF out there. He's hairy top to bottom. He's kind of portly. And he's really looking to take the fight to the ground. You got Justin Tafa on the other end. A Samoan or New Zealand Islander. The guy's got plenty of power, like, the famous New Zealander Mark Hunt. It just really reminds me of him. He's not super muscular, not super athletic looking, but he has got big power in both of his hands. He doesn't have a lot of experience. He's only got 8 fights. He's 5-3. But I think he's the one that has the most danger of ending the fight at any moment. So we're going to go ahead and lean with Tafa. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if Porter somehow doesn't get knocked out, finds himself on top, looking for a finish, but we think Tafa's going to get the win there. Third fight of the night, we have Jack Della Maddalena. He's a Perth native fighting Randy Brown. Randy Brown actually got into the UFC off the old UFC TV show on Fight Pass, looking for a fighter. Dana White saw him in a small regional show, had him come on the UFC. He's actually done really well in the UFC, I feel. He's fought in the likes of Francisco Trinaldo, Chaos Williams, Vicente Luque, Warley Alves. He's fought a lot of the good contenders there and mostly has come out on top. He's a really tall, lanky fighter, really similar to Neil Magny. They use a lot of their range to set up them coming inside with tight plume, knees, elbows. He's a well-rounded guy. He's got submissions. So he's a very, very tough contender at the welterweight division. The main fight and a main point of this fight is Jack Della Maddalena. The guy has looked amazing. He's a rugby player, and he's undefeated in the UFC so far. His boxing is powerful. He looks really, really well. Really, really well put together there, and he can land really, really heavy punches, likes to go to the body, and then he does have some wrestling chops. Nothing really too crazy there. He doesn't look to put the fight there, but he can get takedowns if he needs to. I think this one's a no-brainer. You got to go with Jack Della Maddalena here. A lot of hype riding behind him in his hometown, and this is a fight he can win. I don't know that Randy Brown brings any kind of part of the fight that he can't handle, except for maybe taking him down. We haven't seen Maddalena off his back yet, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Maddalena's going to land good punches, go to the body, and ultimately get a TKO. Now we have the co-main event. UFC featherweight interim titles on the line. It's between Yair Pantera Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. This fight, man, it's really, really cool. It's really, really awesome that it's for an interim title because both these guys deserve it. And obviously with Volkanovski going up to challenge for the lightweight title, these guys are getting to fight for a title and they both deserve it. Sets up a really cool fight for the winner versus Volk as well. You got Yair Rodriguez on the one side, super creative striker, really, really good taekwondo, big kicks, jumping kicks, spinning kicks. He's got the famous last minute duck under back elbow KO. The first time we ever saw that against Chan Sung Jun, the Korean zombie. He's just really, really creative, and that's his big benefit. Like, guys do not know where he's coming. He's got good punches. He can fight on the ground, but mainly he's a striker, and it's really, really exciting to watch. A lot of fun. He's going against Josh Emmett, Team Alpha Male product, the guy that I've watched live here in Sacramento for quite some time. Great fighter. The dude has a ton of power for featherweight fighters, and you've seen that in his KOs of Ricardo Lamas, Michael Johnson. He fought and beat. He just recently fought and beat Calvin Kattar in a really good battle. So well deserved on his end. He's been around, worked his way up, and he's getting his shot. This one's going to be probably a stand-up fight. I'd be surprised. And if it's going to be anybody, I would think it's Josh Emmett who's going to try to take Yair Rodriguez down. I just don't know if that's going to happen because I think he's going to have a lot of trust in his power. He's going to think to himself, look, as long as I don't get caught with anything super crazy by Yair, I can end the fight with any time that I touch him. I think he's right in that. I mean, Yair Rodriguez hasn't been hurt really bad yet, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens if he does get clipped. But I think there's a lot of danger for Josh, obviously, to not get caught coming in looking for the big shot. I think Yair should use his Yair should use his kicks and keep his distance. Then he's going to look to jump in, flying knees, switch kicks, whatever he can, and that's his path to victory. We'll save our pick for the end here, but I do have a couple cards for each of them. Not a ton of cards out there for Josh Emmett. All I got here is his base Prism card out of 2022. Him getting his hands raised. Then I got two cards for Yair Rodriguez. This is his base Prism. Him beating the crap out of Jeremy Stevens right there. And then I do have a numbered card from him. This is out of the 2022 Chronicles set. This is his blue Flux, numbered out of 99, 22 on the print. So a lot of fireworks are going to happen in this fight. I can't wait for it, and we'll give you the fight pick at the end here. Last but not least, we have the main event, the super fight. Get ready, guys. You don't see this very often, so when you do, you got to make sure you watch it, take it in. It's a part of history. Number one pound for pound, Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight champion. He's going up in weight class to try to become a double champ, going against Islam Makhachev, the reigning lightweight champion, and really the second coming of Khabib. Makhachev's looked nothing but impressive in his fights. Early on, he was primarily a grappler, and that's where his obvious strengths came from, especially coming from that Dagestani team. But his striking has continued to get better, and he has answered every challenge that he's faced in the UFC. Dan Hooker, Charles Oliveira, Bobby Green, Arman Sarukian, the list goes on. And he's just looked really, really good and super, super strong on top. We're not talking top like I take you down and I lay on you for rounds. We're talking like I take you down, I pass your guard, I put you in positions, I attack you, and then I end up choking you out and getting a submission. It's normally been a matter of when, not a matter of if, with Islam, and he's kind of taken that next step up after Khabib has stepped out of the picture and picked up right where he's left off. His win against Charles Oliveira was emphatic, it was beautiful, and he did it with striking. I mean, don't forget, the fight was supposed to be only on the ground for Makhachev. Makhachev hurt Oliveira early. That set and put in motion the rest of the fight, where he was then able to hurt Oliveira again in the later round, and then went for that head and arm triangle choke. Alexander Volkanovski, not only is he super, super exciting to watch, I personally think he's a super inspiring guy, right? He's short in stature, obviously muscular and super athletic, but just kind of what he stands for, right? He talks about a lot of cool stuff about testing yourself and being the best version of yourself. And not that Islam doesn't have that, not that all these other fighters don't have that. It's just kind of resonated with me a little bit. I just think it's been super fun to watch him fight. He's undefeated in the UFC, and he has handled his challenges with no problem. Max Holloway is thought of as probably one of the best strikers, if not the best striker, prior to his two-fight war with Volkanovski. But Volkanovski made the first one close. The second one was not close. He beat the crap out of Max, and I have some boys who love Max, and I myself like Max, but let's just call it what it was. He was outclassed in that second fight and showed that Makhachev is the man. Makhachev beat Chan Sung Jung within an inch of his life. That was scary. Great to see the Korean Zombie get a shot, but he got the crap kicked out of him. He's beaten everybody else. Chad Mendes. Some of the names escape me now, but Volkanovski, Brian Ortega, that fight was amazing. Volk has all the tools. He's super well-rounded. He can fight on the ground. He can definitely fight on the feet. He's small, which is sometimes hard to grapple with if you're a bigger guy. And I just think he's coming into this fight super, super focused. Doesn't have a ton to lose, right? Of course he has to win and wants to win. But he's the one stepping out of his comfort zone, stepping up to fight a much bigger man. That can be dangerous sometimes. When someone doesn't have anything to lose and they're chasing greatness, sometimes that's when they have their even better performances than they've ever had. So I'm just super, super excited to see this fight. I think the narrative is the same in everybody's head. Will Makhachev be able to use his size and grappling ability to ragdoll the smaller Volkanovski? If that fight goes that way, I think we'll figure out pretty early whether or not, right? Volkanovski has a great gas tank. I just don't expect him to gas over time. The main thing is going to be can Makhachev take him down? Makhachev's not going to be discouraged by one takedown at defense, right? He's going to go for it over and over and over, and Makhachev has a storied gas tank. So, I think that's where the fight's going to be. If the fight takes place widely on its feet, I think, that's where Volkanovski obviously has his best chance. I think he's going to be quicker than Makhachev. I think he's got better, diverse striking skills. And I think he's got really, really great in and out speed and defense. But if he spends most of his time fighting off takedowns, that can be tiring. If he spends time on the ground and can't get up, that's going to be really bad for him. So, that's really the big question here. And what's exciting is no one freaking knows. It seems like it probably should be Makhachev's fight to have easily, but I just think that would be a big, big mistake if Makhachev is taking it lightly. I'm sure he's not, but he has had a little bit of a smirk on his face when they're talking in the interviews. He seems to kind of make those jokes it's almost not, he knows he's going to win, and he's just way bigger than Volk. So, I don't know. Super exciting, as you can tell. I'm excited. We'll save the picks for the end, but I just think no matter what happens, it's history. It's going to be a fun one. Can't wait for it to happen tomorrow night. And mark my words, that Perth Stadium is going to go ape shit when that first takedown is defended by Makhachev. They're going to flip out, so that's going to be fun. Okay, I got a lot of cards for both of these guys. Main cards that I have for Volk, Dominators. This is out of Optic Set this year. It was an insert. I got his base Prism card, pretty cool with the Australian flag in the back. This is his Fearless. This is an insert for Prism. Pretty cool there, only the biggest fight names. This is my first numbered of him. This is an Elite out of Chronicles out of 199, 66 on the print. Also out of Chronicles, this is their black version, 175 out of 99. This is the lowest number card I had of him out of 99. This is called the Illuminance. They just kind of look almost like a movie, kind of cool. It's the blue Illuminance. And then this is probably my favorite card of his. Not the lowest number, but I love this light. They call it Concourse Blue. Concourse Blue 2022 Select Volkanovski. Again, just a really, really cool picture of him. This is numbered out of 199, 34 on the print. Bunch of cards for Makhachev. He's all over in the card sets. This is his Optic Silver. Stargazing, another insert for the Optic class. This is his Silver Dominators. Then we move over to Select. Love these global icon cards. I think they're awesome. So it's got the Russian flag in the back, him kind of in a mid-kick action strike. This is the Prism base for Islam. This is his Chronicles base. Elite out of Chronicles. Illuminance out of Chronicles. This is a numbered red season ticket out of 2022 Chronicles. This is numbered out of 199, 100 on the print. Actually, I love the hundreds there. And then the big one, of mine, I wouldn't say Islam's my PC, but obviously, he's a champion and an important fighter in the division. This is his out of Chronicles. What we're breaking tonight, his National Treasures, 49 out of 99. It's a thicky card for absolutely no reason. But these are really, really cool. They're a value card that comes out of them. And so this is one I'm holding on to for sure. Can't wait. It's going to be an awesome fight. Man, not sure who's going to win. Okay, so remember, we are 20-18. And when you're trying to keep your record good, you should probably take it and play it safe. But I don't go down like that. I like to take my risk. I like to bet with my heart. I know that's not always the best, but I love fighting first and foremost before betting, and I like to put my energy and root for the person that I think and want to win as well. So I already gave you guys earlier fight picks of the night. We're gonna lean towards Alonzo Menafield to KO Jimmy Crute. I think that's what's gonna happen, but we'll see. Not an official fight pick. Then we're gonna lean towards Justin Tafa against Chase Porter. I just think Tafa's got the knockout punch ready and waiting to hit Porter. Porter's big and slow. I think he's probably gonna get caught. Then I did give you the first official pick of the night. We're going with Jack Della Maddalena. That's a straightforward one. I don't think there's any problem or any kind of discussion that needs to be done there. He's going to be better in all facets of the game over Randy Brown. I think he's going to get the KO there, or the TKO. Now, the two main fights, the second and the third fight, let's put it in perspective here. The two favorites are Yair Rodriguez over Josh Emmett, and then obviously Islam Makhachev over Volk. We're going in the opposite direction. We're taking some risks. I think Josh Emmett is going to become the interim champion at featherweight. I think he's going to be ready for the crazy stuff, defend those. I think he's going to look for big, big punches. I don't know that he's going to knock out Yair, but I think he's going to get the win. I think maybe a unanimous decision or even a split decision. So we're going to go with the underdog there. In the main event, I think Volkanovski has all the tools to overcome the biggest challenge of his career. I think he's going to be a faster fighter. I think he's going to be healthier, right? Not having to cut much weight. I think he's going to be quicker to the punch. I think he's got more diverse striking style in the stand-up game. And I think he's got and knows to put the preparation in where he needs to be able to get up off the ground if he's taken down and or defend takedowns. That's not to say that Islam Makhachev should not be the favorite. He definitely should. He's looked and passed every test, dominant fashion. The idea of being underneath him is scary. He zaps guys' energies, can choke them out, can take them out at any moment. But I'm going with Volk. He's in Perth. He's in Australia. And I just love it. I love the energy he brings. I love what he stands for. So we're going to go and ride with Volk. We're putting it all on the line. And the good luck to the great. Good luck to Islam as well, but good luck to Alexander Volkanovski. Can't wait. It's going to be fireworks. So Volkanovski, Emmett, and Jack Maddalena. Those are our three picks. Get with your boys, have a party, and make sure when these fights go down, you're there to watch because it's history. Thanks for joining us. Come join us tonight on Whatnot, and I hope everybody has a good time. Thanks for joining.